Hi doll!
Hey again everyone. So today I'm back with another Picconeemo body comparison. And it's gonna be the last one for a while. Unless they release new bodies. Because the other ones I'm not too interested in having. Okay, so in summary we have the old bodies. Sorry for the staining. In S and M size, and there's a variant with a large chest. Then we have the old Picconeemo D bodies, only one size variant. Then we had reinforced joint bodies with a completely new jointing system. This one was the S size, and it came with an extra neck joint to be compatible with the vinyl heads. And this peg joint for the plastic doll heads, like the Assault Lily line. And it came with the basic set of extra hands. And then it was this S size, and then there was an M size. Then it became rebranded as just the Picconeemo bodies for the S size and the M size. They still came with the extra neck joint, but without the extra hands. And along with that, we had the upgrade to the Picconeemo D body, which had the normal size, and then the Picconeemo D sister, which was shorter. And then we got the male bodies. This is the Picconeemo Boy S, and there is also Picconeemo Boy M with wider shoulders, and he's taller. The reason why I didn't go for the Picconeemo M Boy is because the arms are pretty much the same length as this one's arms, which with the taller body and legs makes the arms look very short. So that's why I don't have that one. And then from that came the Picconeemo D boys. After that we got the Picconeemo P, a lot shorter and cuter proportions. And the Picconeemo P came with 3 skin tones: light tan, milky white and white. Which normal Picconeemos usually have white and flesh. The difference isn't that big, but it's there. Okay, so the newest released, well, the Picconeemo bodies also have a larger bust variant for both the S and M size for the girls. So in the beginning of the year, Azone also released the Picconeemo R bodies. Picconeemo Type R. This was the M size, S size that originally got, which I already took a look at earlier in the year, and this is my new M size. There is also the G size, and the proportions of that one is a bit out there. So, I'm going to be using the Picconeemo M body to compare my two new bodies, and talk a bit more about the differences with the R type and the normal type. So, for the boy body, S size, the shoulders is definitely a bit wider, and although the chest is still a bit androgynous, it's definitely more masculine than what we have for the normal bodies. The torso and waist and legs are pretty much the same. If I take my S body, you can see that the height is pretty much the same from the legs up to the hips. The middle of the torso piece is the same length as the M size body. So in theory, the Picconeemo Boy S size should fit all of the clothes that the normal Picconeemos can fit into. comparing to the Picconeemo D, it's quite a bit shorter. So let's compare with the Picconeemo R M size. The shoulder width of the M size is a bit smaller. The bust is very much larger and more defined. Although I have to say, this M size looks better in pictures than in real life with regards to the bust. But I'm glad it looks a more natural. The R-type looks quite a bit more natural than the normal Picconeemos. Also, the waist is a lot slimmer and more defined with a belly button and more detail at the back. From the back, the hip part looks pretty much the same, just a slight difference in sculpting, but from the front it goes up higher at the waist and lower at the legs, closing off this gap in the joints. But that means that it's a bit less posable over there. Not by much, but it is a bit different. And then going down, the thighs are very much thicker. And the thigh sole is placed quite a bit lower as well. The normal Picconeemo body has it just below the joint, and the R-type has it about a third of the way into the thigh. The calf is a bit thicker around the ankle, and the feet are smaller but a lot more detailed. Okay, let's see if I can focus on that. There we go. Okay. So as for the posing, except for at the hips, the posing is very much the same. But the large bust does comparatively affect the slouching. So our normal Picconeemo body can quite easily touch their toes without the head. But our Picconeemo R type M does not have that advantage. The R type S is just a bit better though. But when it comes to the joints, we do have some differences for the R-type. So the R-type has a small nub at the end of the hand, and the neutral hand is quite different compared to the normal body. There is not yet any specific hands for the new type, but they are compatible with the old type with a bit of force. So for the wrist joints, the pegs are extremely short and the hands can fall off a bit too easily. as well as the feet. The R-type does fix that in a way, because when I tried to remove my R-type S's feet, the joints broke. So they are stuck on there. And for my sanity, I slightly sanded down the nub on the wrist joint. So the peg, it doesn't fall off, nor does it take a lot of effort to put back on. So overall, in those with the hands and feet, that's an improvement. I have had someone ask me a bit more about the hands and the wrist joints and whatnot. So for Picconeemo D, we have quite large joints at the wrist, which is about the same size as the elbow and the elbow joints of the normal Picconeemo. And the peg is a lot thicker, so there is no compatibility between these hands. You can, however, probably fill up the hole and put the joint in so you can have a smaller hand. I know for some people big hands on the Picconeemo Ds are an issue, but then again, these small hands don't look right in my opinion. However, the Picconeemo P hands do fit on the D body, although proportion wise it's also a bit awkward, and you'd have to cut the joint short. But you can just put the whole Picconeemo P joint in the wrist. And that's the first time that happened, that the joint split. But it's an easy fix because it's not broken. Regarding the very old Picconeemo hands, they look like this. They are also not compatible. Okay, wrong hand. But the old hands are compatible with the new bodies. Just be careful not to break the peg. And it seems the peg is a bit too long. So that's most of the hand problems. So Picconeemo D, you can get extra hand sets, 2 holding hands, 2 hands as a V sign, 2 fists, and a right hand with this sign, and the left hand with this. That's basically Picconeemo D hands for this older body. The newer body, with this jointing system, the hands look different. Like the fingers are less pointy and a bit more boxy looking. And yeah, that's the basic hand sets that go with the Picconeemo D. So for Picconeemo P, you have 2 basic hand sets. So the first basic hand set is also the one the reinforced joints body came with. You have 2 fists, 2 relaxed hands, 2 V hands, 2 holding hands. This is a set in white, supposed to be white gloves, and this is a set in flesh. But you can also get an extra type of hands. So we have several types of gripping hands and gun holding hands, and hands with thumbs up, and so on. And Picconeemo P has an extra hand set, holding hands, fists, V, and the funny set that came with Picconeemo D hands as well. So normal Picconeemos has the most sets of hands. The older bodies pretty much has the same basic set of hands that I showed you, but naturally they come with a peg and they're a bit hard to find. I customized my old body to be able to take those joints. I really need to get rid of the staining. Next point of comparison is the heads. So Picconeemo P has, for the most part, the bald head options available. On the Azone website and probably in Azone stores, you would have the hooded heads available as well. So normal Picconeemo heads are listed as Picconeemo S size heads, and they are quite a bit smaller. Here is one still in packaging. Thankfully, because our bodies don't come with this neck joint, the heads do come with those joints. The heads all come with the hooded heads, have the plastic around the head to keep the hair neat. And here is a plain head, hooded head next to the Picconeemo P head. It's quite a bit smaller and different proportioned. The routing is okay, nothing special, and the color options are limited. Okay. And then the Picconeemo D heads are a lot bigger and with a bit more defined facial features. The sharp chin and sharp angular chin compared to the other two heads. So for the Picconeemo heads, you have to open the hole in the head yourself. We do have a bit of a guide here that comes with the heads. And worth noting that the heads are very, very soft vinyl and very squishy. Although Picconeemo D heads are a bit harder. Okay, so that's the basics. And I will now be comparing them to other dolls, and eventually I will be able to compare them clothing wise. Just shortly speaking of clothing, the Picconeemo R-Type S will easily be able to share tops with the normal Picconeemo body. Because of a smaller rib cage and shoulders, the bust size is in fact not that different. The bust size on the M-Type, however, is very different. I think only stretchy tops would be able to fit. Although I've seen people get the Azone sweatsuit, which fits on even the G-Type. So stretchy option it is. Also the hip on the R-Type bodies hips are quite substantial. Or at least in the thigh area. So if you have a pair of pants that has a closure, it might get on, but as long it needs to be able to pass the thighs. Although, okay, I'm not going to struggle with it now, but in theory, like this, you can remove the legs and replace them with another doll's legs. Okay, right now all of my bodies are newer Picconeemo bodies are very tight compared to this one. So I'm not going to struggle with that now. So that swapping parts like that is an option. You just need to be very careful not to break things. Okay, on to the comparisons with other dolls. Okay, so somebody asked me to compare them to a bit more available dolls. So first off, an older generic Barbie. So a Picconeemo D comes up to just about the height of her crotch. A Picconeemo P mid-thigh. And Picconeemo M. Okay. Top of the calf. Picconeemo R type S. About bit taller than mid-thigh. Picconeemo Boy S. About the same. And Picconeemo RS, RM. About 3/4 way up the crotch. That's a Barbie. Next I have an LOL OMG. They are quite a bit shorter. So Picconeemo RM goes about up to the hips. Picconeemo P goes just about just above the crotch. And Picconeemo D about the armpit. Okay, I'm not going to do the other bodies because we know more or less what the proportions are compared to each other. Next I have a Miraculous Ladybug doll, which is a very generic sized body. My pull-ups pretty much have the same size and proportion body. So R-type M is about at the crotch. Picconeemo P is mid-thigh. And Picconeemo D is about above the hips. Next, the G1 Monster High doll. Picconeemo D just above the hips. Picconeemo P mid-thigh. Picconeemo R-type M about just above the crotch. Okay, and that's the most of modern doll body types I have. But here is something extra. An older wing scrub doll. Picconeemo D just below the rib cage. Picconeemo P just below the crotch. Picconeemo M RS just above the hip. And for a similar scaled doll, I have a wings doll. Picconeemo D is half a bit shorter. Picconeemo P is just about at the armpit. And R-type M is at the chin. I put my Bratz kids away so I can't compare them, but the bodies are pretty much the same height-wise, while the Bratz kids' heads are a lot bigger. So, yeah, there aren't that many doll lines that are comparable in size, so that's all I can compare them to for now. So, I hope you enjoyed this little comparison and enjoyed seeing all of the a bit more of the options we have of Picconeemos. And I hope to be able to get more possible clothing options soon, so that I can do another dress up test. I have come to the conclusion recently that some of the hair adorables clothing to fit a bit, but mostly the stitchy ones. But anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Bye.